Steve from the garden. The time has come for me to get my celery started. Now, celery seeds are tiny. They're comparable in size to like a petunia seed or an oregano seed. So very, very small. The variety I'm growing this year is called Tall Utah 52-70R. Improved. There you go. Now I'm going to be planting 24 of these into my bed this year. So because these seeds are so small, I'm sure I'm going to get multiple seeds in each of these cells I'm going to plant into, and I'll just prick out the ones that I don't need. Let's zoom in and get a close look at that. I prepared my cell tray by filling it with the seed starting mix I made, and then just put little dimples in the center of each of these cells so that there's a place for me to drop the seeds. Now you can see just how tiny these seeds are. Since the seeds are so small, it's going to be almost impossible just to get, maybe just a couple of them in each one. But I'll just tap the package, get a few in there, and then once they start growing, I can prick out the extras, thinning them out to one plant per cell. After I got the seeds in the cells, I sprinkled a very light coating of the seed starting mix on the top. Now if I had some perlite, I would have used that instead. But with that done, I'm just going to very lightly tap this in to make sure it all makes good contact with those seeds. With that done, I'm going to very gently add some water to the top here, being careful not to add too much because I could actually flow the seeds right out of the cell. All I need to do is just lightly dampen the surface, and then I will water the rest of it by bottom watering. All that's left to do now is put on the humidity dome, and I'll put it over on the shelf. It's been 25 days since we started the celery seeds. It took 16 days for them to germinate. So now we're 9 days past germination. We'll take a look and see what we got. Now the 24 cells we started, all of them got something growing in them except for this one right here. So what we want to do is we're going to prick out one of the seedlings from the other cells that have too many, and we'll put it into the empty cell. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to just kind of rough up and fluff up the cell that didn't germinate and create a little spot in there so we have a place to put the seedling. So looking over the cells, I'm going to pick a good healthy seedling. So I think I'm going to pick on this one right here, and I'm just going to use a toothpick. It's small and it's pointy, and I can get underneath there pretty easily. Just kind of pull that one out. There we go. Pop that in here. And there we go. Move that one back down. Now for the rest of them, I will be thinning these out, but I'm going to let them go a little bit longer before I do that. So we'll come back and we'll check on them again. It's been a few days since I transplanted that one celery into the empty cell. So let's take a look and see where we're at. This is the cell we transplanted, and that plant's still going, so I think that was a success. Now, the thought occurred to me is that I want to plant 24 of these into the garden, but I have quite a few extras in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit, and I filled up 6 additional cells, and I'm going to move 6 other plants into these new cells. And that way, when I go to plant, I can just choose the best 24 of my now 30 cells to choose from. So for each of the cells I'm going to take something out of, I'll see which one looks the best, leave that one in there, and just use my toothpick. I got my little seedling, pop a little hole in there, put the roots in and put some soil around it. So I'll do that basically for each and every one of these. I'll create a little hole so the seedling has a place to go, and I'll pop on another one. Here's one I pulled out. This one actually, some of the soil actually stuck around it really well. So I'll make a little bit bigger hole, pop that hole, little ball of soil with the plant in there, right on in. Now it's really nice when you get some that are already starting to form their true leaves. If you can pull those out successfully, the plant should really take off without any competition. Here's another one where I actually got a little bit of the soil with it. Just pop that in. Put some soil around it. That one's good. So I got my 6 new cells filled in. For these other cells, I definitely have too many. Like here's one where the later plant is coming in and it's really small compared to the others, so I'm just going to go ahead and yank that one out. And I'll do the same with some of these other ones too. Like here's one where it's got some bigger plants in there. I'll yank out the smaller one. I'm not going to yank all of them out just yet. I'll wait till I see if these new cells are going to take off, and make sure I'm choosing the strongest plant to remain in the cells that I already have. Over the course of the coming week, I'll know which of these plants I'm going to end up keeping and whether these new 6 cells that I transplanted today are going to make it. At that point, then I'll go ahead and thin out all the weak plants so that I narrow down the seedlings to just 1 per cell. I'm anticipating putting these into the garden right about the May 1st or so. That's maybe just a couple weeks before my last frost date. These plants can take some frost, and if I need to, I can always provide a little frost protection once they're outside. When I do go to put them outside, I'll take you along so we can see that process. Until then, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something out of this, and we'll see you on the next one.